Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today is something I found really interesting and wanted to share with you guys. Is ground bait choice. Now, I've been fishing here at Weston Pools for a few months because of the lockdown and stuff like that, and we're pleasure fishing and doing a few different things, catching some roach here on the clay pit, which I did a video about in 15 foot of water, and then we come back on and fish the different style of ground bait and caught different fish. And this is why I brought you down here today. You've got two different types of ground bait here. Now you may ask, what are they and why have we got them? So the first one we've got is a really fish mealy ground bait. It's Thatcher's dark and super sweet. Now this has got loads of fish meals and pellets in, little red flecks in the super sweet, and it's brilliant for catching skimmers, carp and F1s. Now it's probably one of the go-to mixes, but what happened was we fished that video and I fished with Thatcher's dark and Black Roach by Sonia Baits. Now, you may ask, well, like I said, why have I brought a non-fish meal ground bait, to a commercial? Well, just because I wanted the attraction of it fizzing and popping and drawing them roach in. Now, one interesting thing is, we've got the GoPro underwater here, and we're going to put a few balls of these ground bait in to see what I mean by this is, when I use this, I caught everything. I caught roach, I've caught skimmers, I caught an odd F1, I've caught really well, I caught off the bottom, in spells. Now when I come back on the week after and I fished these two ground baits, I didn't catch any roach when I fed this. This is probably because there's high fish meal content in it, the pellets, and there probably wasn't enough attraction. You'll see what I mean when I put the balls in with the GoPro under the water, but there's not enough attraction compared to the little hemp popping off this and fizzing, and when it's fish milling around, moving and feeding, this causes a greater cloud than this one does. So it's really interesting, and it blew my mind, to be fair. You hear about things, and I spoke about before attraction, but when you have it, it's like a eureka moment where I've caught roach, we come on, the week after we come down with Danny and I said, oh, it won't batter, mate, I didn't have any roach left, so we just fed that super sweet and Thatcher's, which is a great skimmer mix anyway, and we didn't catch any roach, none whatsoever. But what happened was, as the day got on and we were fishing more, I ran out of ground bait on my side tray and I couldn't be bothered to get up, so I just carried on loose feeding. And when I stopped feeding ground bait, that's when I started to catch roach. So I think if I fed that as well, I'd have caught a lot more roach early on in the session. So what we're going to do is, I've got some made up, like a little Blue Peter style. I'm just going to see how it reacts under the water. I can see it, I can see the bottom here, but I've got the GoPro and for you can see it as well. So all I've done is mix them the same consistency, nice and fluffy. I'm just going to give them a double squeeze, and when I drop them in, I'm not going to drop them in from height, just level with the water, and what will happen is you'll see how much of different attraction you can get off two mixes. Now this is more of a dead mix. It's not going to kill you swim dead, but it just sits on the bottom like a nice carpet, so you can imagine skimmers seeing it, being dead moody, gliding over. As this, it's like a party going off. It's dead noisy, dead attractive, so then roach are going to come flying in because that's what they like. They like bits flying off it, coming up, but if there's nothing there for them to come and nosy over, they're not going to come in. That's when the bigger fish want this one. But I'm just going to pop it in now and see. Let's try on the GoPro. I've got to try and get it level. If I don't, there we go. So that's gone in now, and it's like straight away there's bubbles flying off it. You can maybe see that on the GoPro. It's bits are starting to fizz and pop, the hemp starting to move, and it breaks down so quickly. It's really interesting to do this with your ground baits. You learn quite a lot. Now I was blown away. It might have been something simple, you might have known it already, and you speak about it and you fish with it and you think yeah, but when you have a moment, like a eureka moment like I did, it's just a different ball game when you're fishing, and I think that's when you learn the most, when you can experiment with mixes and stuff like that. So say if I was going to go to Patsall Park in the summer and I've drew a peg where there's a lot of bream, a lot of skimmers, I probably wouldn't even bother with black roach. But if I drew a peg where I need to catch a bit of everything, I'll be fishing that mix. So it's nice to know what you're fishing for and what mix you're going to take with you, and it just puts in your armoury, write it down, just how it works. You can get the levels of water right as well. But as you can see, let's try and move the GoPro. There's still bits coming off that all the time. It's really attractive. One thing that's really interesting is I'm going to nudge it with the GoPro stick. If you nudge it, say a fish come in, it puffs up, it lingers out in a massive area. So you imagine 5 or 6 balls of that, and the fish is milling around. It's just going to be like a big cloud on the bottom, and as you break it up, as you get further into the ball, it releases more and more of these little bits of hemp, so much attraction, fizzing and popping off. So that's that one. You can see how busy and fizzy, that's what we're going to call it, busy and fizzy, that one is. Loads of attraction. Now this one's a bit different. Just got to be a bit more careful. I'm going to move the GoPro, whack it in there. So you guys, I'm just going to get my pellet one, some super sweet and dark fatches, 1, 2, and you'll see it gives a bit of attraction, but then just does nothing, just sits there. And you've got all these little red flecks, bits of pellets, ground down pellets and fish meal in there, and that's why you catch so many fish. It's just when you see it like this and you start speaking about it and thinking about it, you can see why the two different types of ground baits catch two different types of fish. So I'm just going to pop that on there. There we go. Try not to get it to, so it's gone in and there's a bit of cloud gone off it, but it's just, there's like single bubbles popping off, so it's like pop, 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 and it's just melting. There's nothing too attractive. As well, this one here now, I can see both of them, and there's a lot more fizzing and popping off that, so it's really, it's gone down the shelf there. I tried to do this on the shelf, so it's not ideal. But as you can see, it's not really doing a lot. There's a little slight current here, don't know why, but it's moving and it's not doing anything. It's just creating a carpet. It's creating that carpet effect on the bottom, which I spoke about. Just sat there in a ball. Now, like I said, I'm going to poke it, see if fish is grubbing round. Yeah, slight ball of attraction, whizzes round, lingers about. That's about it. Doesn't do as much as the other one, so you can see why this is such a big fish, bigger fish. Not saying massive, probably saying like 8 ounces plus fish, but this is just an all-rounder catcher fish. So, say you're going to a canal trying to catch loads of fish, that'd probably be your best option. Draw them in, catch them that way. But if you were looking to stun your peg, put loads of bait in, like that, put a big pile of bait in, willing to wait, some particles, get them fish grubbing round, and you'd be easily catch more. So see, that's there. Let's roll down the shelf a little bit because I've just done it at an angle, but it's not really doing anything. It's not really doing anything, so take the GoPro out. So it's really interesting to speak about it, and it's just something which I thought I'd share with you guys. You may already know it, you may find it absolutely useless, but I thought it was amazing when I couldn't believe the difference it actually made. Clay pit's full of roach, full of like nice 3, 4, 5, 6 ounce roach. You catch them all the time, you catch them off the bottom, you catch loose feeding. But when we fish with the super sweet and fatchers, didn't catch any sheller, didn't catch any off the bottom until we stopped feeding it. So that makes sense to me. When we were fishing this one probably give a 4 or 5 foot trail, bits coming off, bigger group of fish coming off the bottom, they're happy going down, up and down, and that's why we caught a lot more roach on it. So hope you enjoyed that little video, and it's really interesting. I'm just going to play about, mix these mixes up a little bit wetter, see what they do. If they're really wet, do they just stay there like a stodge, or do they just release a bit more, or try and dry them out a little bit, see what happens if you feed it loose. But just thought I'd share it with you guys, just a little video. Got a bit of underwater footage of what your ground bait does, and it's really important when you're fishing to select the right bait for the right fish. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification so you don't miss any future videos.